right, so we're back with the budget Highboy. We got distracted from the Galaxy a little bit, but we're back. So I get to have the great job of cutting up my rust-free truck. It was so good until it wasn't. So pretty much, you can barely see the tape line that I've left from this side to that side. Everything in there for the basically 2-inch height needs to get cut out of this thing. It's all like paper thin. You can put your thumb through it. I'm not going to do all this work. You can see the firewall and all that stuff came out amazing. So everything up here is all brand new. I don't want this thing to be clear coated and all sealed up and ready to go. Really nice. Then you can put your finger through it. So, or I'm driving in and the water's coming down on my legs through the freaking roof. So not really a fan of that, but I have the original headliner in it. So if you go down the other side, you can see. So this thing has the original headliner that needs to come out. You can see it's not as perfect as I thought. The visors were kind of hiding some stuff. So I think we will end up replacing this, which I wasn't really a fan of. I kind of wanted to keep it, but either way, we're gonna take all this stuff out and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut the top out mainly so this doesn't light on fire when I cut it. So start taking this thing even further apart, but you can see the motor and tranny are mounted in it. All that stuff's good. Firewall's done. Most of this is all together. The Highboy column is in it and it's all working, which is good. So parts are starting to move. So with that, let's tear it even further apart. Like my gun doesn't fit. I'm just gonna get in here. Yeah. So the visors are like basically holding this thing up. Oh balls. Oh, oh gosh. Where Quake died. Yay! Okay, so now this is the part where I get out because it's only being held by this one piece and the visor. There's gonna be a rat's nest. Take your bets. Think it's gonna be a big ass rat? I don't think it's that bad. There's definitely some stuff in there though. Oh, this is gonna be gross. No way. I have never. Look at that roof. Look how nice that is. Dude, there's still like shiny paint in here. I've never had one of these not fall apart. Look at this, it's in one piece still. I can take it out and reuse it and like flex it around and stuff. I can literally put this back in. It's still like malleable. What? The back's not even dirty. That's ridiculous, dude. The crazy part is it's like a little water damage from like moisture because it's like obviously not flat anymore. But like even looking at the backside, like it sounds dumb, but if I like watered this down lightly and like put heavy like sandbags on it and laid it out in the sun, it would probably flatten this all back out and then I can just literally keep the original headliner, which I might do. So you can see it's got a little bit of warpage going on right here, a little bit over here in the same exact spot. You can see it's like a water bed. It's all wiggly, piggly wiggly. But it looks really good either way. I'm very impressed. I'm surprised it hasn't broken half. These things are always broken. And then on the inside, this thing looks brand new. All the way around, it's like perfect. That is crazy. My like normal F100 isn't even this nice. Oh, I forgot to take the screw out of the center. That's what I forgot. So that tore, but it didn't even tear that bad. It's totally fine. You can just put a washer on it and be done. Debating on like how much to keep original and like how much to replace, because there is a fine line of like, you wouldn't keep total junk, right? So the dash pad, obviously we're changing. It's all cracked on the top as you can see. So that's not gonna stay. That one's clearly past. It's still not in horrible shape for being 55, 56 years old, 7 years old, whatever it is, however old it is. But the headliner, it's like, I mean, even look at the mirror. The mirror's perfect. All this stuff's still in really good shape. I mean, the windshield is good, minus it's just got one big fat chip in the center. The back glass is perfect. So it's like, realistically, I don't have to change a whole lot here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean the inside again. It's still got water. This is all just dirt from when I hosed out the bottom of the cab. We DV skinned the bottom. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up. And then now I can actually see the rust holes from the other side and I can make sure I'm not gonna light anything on fire. So I'm gonna start getting everything prepped so I can cut my roof up because that's what I feel like doing. Alrighty. Oh geez. This is the part that I was not looking forward to, but the show may go on. So essentially, from here to there, and about a 1-inch piece all the way across is pretty much junk on this thing. I wasn't gonna run a tape line, but I think I'm going to. Not like I'll get squirrely or anything, but I just wanna make sure, for sure, that I cut this thing straight. And mainly that I cut the least amount that I have to out. I don't really wanna go crazy here. I don't think this piece of tape is long enough. Oh, come on, be long enough. Look at that, perfectamundo. I'm gonna take a screwdriver and chisel the rest of this out, because that's all gonna be junk. Actually, I'll just do this. Well, that's like in there. Dipping my knife. I really hope there's no like hidden rot underneath here. Man, that would suck. That's kind of what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I'm like nicely filling everything up so it doesn't lift up whatever's underneath. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh no. Oh, we're good. We're good. Just a little bit at a time. Frick. Okay. Now for the fun part. All right. Frick. Oh boy. So as you can see, by how fast this thing cuts through it, it's very thin. It doesn't really look that great on the backside, so. Nice. This kind of stuff sucks. Yeah, we're gonna call that done. Do that only. Go to the other side, do the same exact thing, man. Oh God. See, part of me is like, I should leave this, but I guess if it's only good for like 3 inches, I should probably just cut the whole thing out. Yeah, because now you can see how much harder it is to cut through. I kind of want to use a jigsaw right there so I'm not putting so much heat into this thing. So I really don't want to warp the top. Because when I do this, I can't really use much filler at all. I don't really, I mean I can, but I'm trying to eliminate any of that crap in this roof. Ta-da! Okay. Now for the same thing on the bottom. This part's gonna be really tricky. So there's a lip right on the edge of this, and I'm essentially gonna have to weld and grind on that lip. That's gonna be really hard. I guess I'll cut the bottom too. Wow, look at that. See, I didn't get that lucky. The whole inside of that's trashed. Yikes. That's all bad, dude. Whatever, that's why we're here. It's part of the fun. Yeah, it's no bueno, dude. It's all right, I can fix this. This is actually not that scary now that I'm looking at it. Not that bad. Oh, the inner layer is rotted. It's all, man, dang it, it's all screwed up. I wouldn't really care so much if it wasn't Tina. Tina's like, it's stupid. It's harder for it to look crappier. It's more work. Like that, I could see this already fell down. Yeah, that's something. Hey, look at that, it just peels right off. I'm like just peeling my roof off. It's actually the one mistake everybody makes, including me, is leaving tape on these things for too long. It will leave the nastiest residue that will never come off. Ask me how I know. Let's take it off. I'm gonna cut this with a jigsaw and I'm gonna vacuum this out and see what kind of hole I created. A bottomless pit. Oh yeah, all that crunch. All right, well this is kind of what we're dealing with. It's not really that bad. But you can see on the center layer, it definitely got a little bit ate up in there. So it's kind of what we're working with right now. Which again, isn't really too bad. So what I'm gonna do essentially on the back side of this thing is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean up and seal what's inside of there with a POR and a rust encapsulator, and I'm gonna stop what's going on already underneath and stop that, clean that up as best I can, wire wool what's there, tape off all the patina spots so I don't ruin them, and then I'm gonna go ahead and seal that so it stops rusting and prevent it from rusting more in the future. I'll kind of spray what I can inside there, mostly from inside the cab as well. And then I'll essentially just weld in a new piece. That's really all there is to it. It's not a whole lot, it's not rocket science. I just wanna make sure it stops rusting, doesn't rust anymore, and I get a new piece of sheet metal in there so it's nice and strong. So that's essentially what I'm gonna do. So I've got this thing sealed. You can actually see the black strip all the way around this thing. So I went ahead and I put that can, which is just a top coat. This is plenty to seal these things. You can see it right on it, direct to metal, rust preventative. So you can spray it right on. Normally I have the like brush on stuff in the bucket. I don't have any, I ran out. So I'm just doing it this way, it's fine. So you can see up on top here, coming up on this side, everything in here has all been coated. Tucked way up in high there. I basically sprayed it on the brush. So I sprayed it on the brush and I stuck the brush up in there and got as good as I can. So it's all sealed up as good as it should be. It should stop whatever's there. It wasn't really bad to begin with. Mind you, this entire thing wasn't completely gone. There's a bunch of little bubbles that I'm stopping essentially. So now I can peel the tape off and go ahead and put our new section metal. I got a new sheet. So you can see right here, they've got some cold roll 18 gauge. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out as close as I can to that piece. And then I will lay that on top of the roof and I'll cut through both at the exact same time so they fit perfectly. So let's get that thing welded. here comes the fun part. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do this with no special tooling. Can I use special tooling? Maybe, but I'm too lazy to do it. And no one's really gonna learn from that. So what I did is I shaped this in kind of a U. So I sanded this bottom edge and this bottom edge because this roof is naturally curved. So when I put a straight piece of flat strap on it, it didn't fit. So now it fits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna butt up the bottom corner, which I should have brought a magnet up here, but essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on one corner and work my way over, but I'm gonna tack a corner and tack a corner, and then I'm gonna roll this thing up, and then I'm gonna cut the top and it'll fit perfectly. So because you can't really get a cleco or any sort of like tab to hold this thing on the backside very easily, so it just made way more sense to do it this way. And this screwdriver, what you'll do is you'll put that in the edge and you can roll it to get that fitment good, so it fits a little bit better. But so essentially what I need to do is I just need to sand the edge of this all the way around, just barely. So what I'll do is I'll take this little belt sander with 120 grit on it, which I'll change real quick. I'll change the belt so it's nice and soft. Oh shit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand like a 1/4 inch around this whole thing, just enough to get the paint on. I realize I'm gonna cut the top, so I'm only gonna do the sides. So here's the plan. Stand, take our strap, get it butted up into that corner. So what I wanna do is take a straight edge to that. And that just hit the firewall, didn't it? So the magnets are gonna help me hold this thing on a straight plane. There we go, that's what I want. So I'm gonna tack this, assuming it will tack. I don't even know if it will. Hope my ground's good. My gosh, my ground, I have a good one, what the hell? Okay, so it's tacked in. I mean, it's in a pretty good spot. So there's a little radius right on the bottom here, and that radius is right where it routed out, so I gotta hand make all that. It's gonna suck. That's the part that everybody gets afraid of with roofs. They're not that hard, man, I promise. Okay, so you want a flathead screwdriver, preferably not a big one like what I have. I don't know why I grabbed such a large one. That's kind of dumb, but whatever. Pull this out just a little bit on the backside. There we go. I want like a screwdriver gap to shape this edge, because there is a little edge here. Beautiful. Okay, this is literally all that goes into roof skins. It's not that crazy. Don't overcomplicate it. Anybody can do this. This is not a go pay $250 an hour at a fab shop to have them put a roof on your truck. You just gotta think about it. People get way in over their heads on these kind of jobs, and realistically, if you just take your time and think about things as a system, this is where my engineer brain turns on. Just think about it as a system and how all this stuff's gonna work. You can do it, I promise. Okay, so this other side, we're gonna trim the bottom of this for sure. Like I said, I'm gonna get the bottom of this where I want it, and then I'm gonna cut the top and it'll lay down. Weld that real quick. I don't think that one's going anywhere. All right, so now we can do two things. We can either cut this side of this to fit in the center, which is what I'll probably do. And this one's a little long. I should have measured it a little shorter, but essentially, that is not fun. I need to dig this through. Ow. I would not recommend doing this way. It's very painful. Oh yeah, it's gonna break all those tacks. Oh man, I broke all the tacks. I'm gonna re-weld all these. I think I'm just gonna cut that with like a tin snip. Almost there. Beautiful. I gotta shave the bottom. All right, so you can see this bottom edge is tacked all the way across. So this is my body line. I wanna keep that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag a cutoff wheel right along the top, and I'm gonna cut through both pieces at once. Those will lay down and it'll be a perfect fit. I already know it's gonna fit on the sides. I've trimmed those, I've tacked those. And so if I just go right along the top here, and I can actually see where it was, which I don't need to cut a lot off. I'm gonna start right here, and I'm gonna cut probably a 1/4 inch off the top of this. When that lays down, this thing will fit perfectly. So trying to, like I said, cut the least amount that I can off of it. It should work. I don't know, in theory. I've actually never done this, but well, I did it on the Galaxy, I guess. I did a lot of that on the Galaxy. Oh boy, it's gonna be something. Oh, this is gonna suck. It's gonna shoot sparks right in my arm the whole time. Yeah, it's looking good. Just gotta get on top of it. This is a really awkward angle. Okay, so now I'm through both pieces right here. So what I'll do is I'll just carry that all the way across. And hopefully I don't cut too much off. You know what I could do is I could technically take a jigsaw, but go through both. That's gonna take forever though. All right, there's our halfway point, and I can see that my gap is a little bit large. That's the problem with some of these wheels is they're super thick, and when you cut through, you have like basically a full 16. Sometimes a little bit big, but I think it'll be okay for what we're doing, because if it's too tight, everything's gonna warp. So we actually want a little bit of a gap. And that this is on a natural incline. When I tack weld the top, the bead's just gonna fall down. So I think it'll work pretty well. The tricky part is gonna be getting that old piece out of the back. So that's gonna suck. All right, new blade. These blades suck. Almost there. Oh no, there's a gap. Whatever, it's fine. All right, look at that. Fits perfectly. That's what we wanted right there. Ow, good enough. Okay, we're done. All right, that fits. So now, here comes the fun part. So essentially, if I took a screwdriver and I push this down, this now lines up perfectly. The bottom's a little bit weird though, but you don't want to weld too much of the bottom, otherwise this thing's not going to want to bend. So technically the right way to do this would be to start from one side and work your way out. Like I said in the beginning, I was going to start from the corner just to get the bottom. Now that the bottom is set, I can do the rest. So that's where these little baby screwdrivers come in handy, because you can bend them all up any which way you want. So I'm gonna tack that, and then I'm just gonna work my way across. But what I'm gonna do is once I get a couple of them tacked and the way that I want, I'm gonna sand just this little bit, because otherwise this is gonna oxidize really bad. So try to fix that up. You don't need a welding hood. See, told you. There you go. All right, so here you go. Here's our update. Look at that, not too bad, dude. Looks really good. All the way across. I'm very, very pleased with that. It's very consistent, it's flat. You can see this lower edge is still there, so I can kind of make a little bit of a curve there, because you can see at the end of this thing, you can see this thing makes like the tiniest curve on the bottom there. So I'm trying to replicate that on the bottom of this, but the top edge, that's really good. Very happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing welded up and then blended. Like I said, I'm not trying to really add much paint that I gotta add into this thing. Like it'll probably get down to where I dust this thing on with base, masked off, and then I'm like paintbrushing the edges to get this kind of like peppered effect. So yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, everything else is looking pretty good, pretty happy with it, and should be able to go ahead and wrap this thing up pretty quick here. All right, so I've got this thing pretty much welded all the way across. Man, this takes a long time to do all this. So this side came out really, really good. This side I've been having a little bit of an issue. I mean, it's not bad. So what you're looking at here is from me torching it. On the bottom side of this thing, you can barely see it, but it's low. See that low spot? Right on the top edge of this, right up here. Right up in here, across this edge, you'll see it right there. So it's high on the right there, and then there's a low spot in the center. So what happened when I was welding it, probably just because I was moving too quickly, is the pieces of metal, they kind of moved a little bit, and then some excess heat got in this panel when I welded it, and it warped downward. So what I have to do is take a torch on the back side, and essentially I have a cold rag right here. So if I went like this, let's just cool it just to show you. So if I got this all wet so I could see where everything is, and then I took this torch on the back side of it, right? I came in here, I went ahead and I went up and down this one spot. That's gonna slowly expand the panel. That's probably good. And then what I do is I let it air cool, and what I can do is with the wet rag on the sides, I can shrink this down on just the sides. And that will allow some of that energy to stretch this panel out as best that I can. It's not gonna be perfect, but so that's how I'm getting that out. So you can see it's already a little bit better. So I've just been doing that time and time again. I'll probably have 3 or 4 more sessions doing that. But you can see this is pretty much sanded out. So these are just welds that just didn't get perfectly ground down. That body line on the bottom edge is super difficult. So anyone who's done this, definitely it's a more advanced metalworking repair job. Especially if you have a lot of corrosion down in the gutter. Yeah, you're screwed. It's gonna be super difficult. And this is not easy at all. But I could just be done. I'm gonna skim coat this whole thing anyways, just right across the top and bodywork it all in like I'm supposed to. I want it to look like it had never been repaired, which is kind of the goal. But you can see I only have this nice little strip to fix. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It's not super crazy. And now the cab is 110% rust free. I'm gonna get this thing fixed, get this thing wrapped up. You know, I've been torching the inside of it, so the inside's all burnt probably. Me torching it. Yeah, the inside I'm torching up in there. I just wanted to make sure I didn't ruin the paint on the bottom side. Because all the paint in this thing is looking really, really good. And you can see how nice this thing came out. I mean, talk about like the nicest cab that I've ever seen or worked with or anything. This isn't even rust. This is like water that just sat here. I mean, that's crazy. Look at that. All the way through the back of the cab. Like, it's shiny paint literally everywhere. It's crazy. So I still got to finish cleaning it and vacuuming, and then when I pulled the glass, all of the trim pieces exploded all over the place. So there's just stuff everywhere. So I've got a bunch of cleanup to do. So I'm gonna keep jamming at that and get that thing all dialed up. And then hopefully the roof will be done very, very soon. We can start leaning into primer and body filler and paint, then get the roof done. So yeah, with that, let's get this thing wrapped up. Okay, so I've decided to relief cut this, and I've been stretching and shrinking it. You can actually barely see my dye. It's underneath there right now. So I've been plenishing this. You can actually see I got it up. So I'm gonna take my little handy dandy straight edge. Much better. You can still see a little bit of light. So that's what I'm gonna work on right now, but you can see that gap significantly better all the way down, which is good. Very good. So made a mistake, fixed it. It's all in metal now, so I got that plenished out. I just need to stitch it up. I'm gonna work this side a little bit more. You can see it's down on the top side, so I gotta get the top stretched up. You can see that whole line, that's pretty good. Not bad. See, make a mistake, you can fix it. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get this thing welded up. You can see these ones didn't come out that good just because of the warpage and everything, just kind of messed everything up. So this is what you want. This is what I did because I was rushing. So don't do this, but it's fine because we're gonna cover it with a skim coat and blend it all, it'll be perfect. So I'm gonna get this welded, DA finished, come back, we can get some primer on it, and then I can go ahead and start doing some body work. So roof repaired. This thing pretty much ready to spray. I'm gonna wait to spray it though, just because we have some other stuff to work around and we don't want to be working on fresh paint, and we've got Chaz doing detail stuff over there. I don't want to get over spraying anything. So what we're gonna do is work on the rest of the interior and get everything ready to go back together. And that requires taking things more apart. So this is the original gauge cluster. Came out of the truck. We're starting to take that stuff out. This needs a new lens. Everything else looks really, really good though. And then on the inside of the truck, Marty's here. Howdy. Howdy. And then you go on this side. So on the inside, we're getting the original dealer AC taken out of this thing. I don't know what model box this is. If you guys know, I'd be curious. We're gonna take this out temporarily. We're gonna put AC in it later. We just want to get everything assembled, and we have to get to this back firewall cover panel piece. This has to come out. Dash pieces. We have a whole new harness we're going to be putting in this thing, so the harness is going to come out and get everything prepped to go back in. I have the floor mat out. We're going to clean it, and then bada boom, bada bing. Bada boom, bada bing. Yes. Bagada, bagada. Bagada, bagada. It's funny. This is the filler neck that came out of this truck. It's got a little bit of goop in there. Oh yeah, there we go. Got some nuggets in there. Someone forgot to wipe and they had to put this thing in. So yeah, that's a little crusty dusty. So we're gonna have to clean that guy up pretty good. But it is the original filler neck, and we are using a cab tank still. I am gonna weld this one up. That one's gotta get welded because we're gonna put a 38 gallon in the very back. But I am gonna keep the cab tank. A lot of people are like, oh, why would you do that? It's because, well, I already have one that's perfectly good in my F100. My F100 is getting EFI. We are pulling the cab tank out of my F100. There's no reason to throw away or waste a perfectly good fuel system. So all of those things will bolt right in this truck. It's literally free for me to use. The entire fuel system is gonna be free. Because if you bought it 10 years ago, it's basically free. So that's the math. That's the boy math we're gonna use on that one. So we are keeping the cab tank. It's not supposed to be a resto mod. It's a very proper original style truck. So cab tank, pull it, put it in, easy, relatively stock motor. Should be fairly simple. Tired of this, Grandpa. Dude, the original heater box is behind it still?
Yeah, no, this is an aftermarket. This is a dealer.
Oh, that's how they mounted these things?
Two fucking screws. One, two, and then one through the firewall on your nice painted paint. Careful with the wiring.
Yeah, this beautiful wiring.
Wow. AC deleted. We don't need air conditioning.
Deleted. Someone's screaming like, I need that so bad.
Fuck you. I'm gonna throw it.
No, this thing's actually really rare. This is one of the nicer ones. The other one that I've had, I came with my crew cab, it kind of swoops down. That one's a little more ugly. This one's cool looking.
Where do you want it?
In the dumpster.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Oh, the back half came off. Oh, there it goes. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, break it. Break it. Aw, man. That's original.
Look how much better it looks. After that gruesome rust repair and just atrocious cab, I know this was very, very difficult. It's much worse than any other truck out there. It wasn't really that bad though. I stuck it out, got through it, and as you can see here, we're back to normal. You got a freshly painted floor with literally almost zero rust. Hi, I'm already showed up. We're ready to wire this thing. So everything's ready on the top. The rest has been repaired. On the top, I guess the top was the only hard part. I did warp it a little bit, but I fixed it. Shrink it, stretched it, cold dragged it. You guys saw all that. So you guys can tackle it yourselves. You don't need some crazy English wheel or stretcher or anything. Those tools make it easier, but you don't need them. And you can see I welded it in, and then I block filled everything, got the roof where it needs to be. The inside of this thing is perfect. The paint looks amazing. And yes, as I'm jokingly saying it's so bad, there's nothing wrong with this floor. It's still got paint on it. When have you ever seen a driver's floor that looks like that? Everything's taken out, heater box is all out. So the only thing we gotta do is take the harness out. The only reason we haven't is I want it to be fresh and Marty and I's head when we're doing it. So the next thing you guys are gonna see is the harness. And I've got a bunch of long tube headers I'm gonna chop up and we're gonna build our own headers. So with that, hope you guys are excited. We got new shirts that I'm wearing right now that we're gonna drop very, very soon. So be ready for that. I'll see you guys in the next video with the Highboy. Later guys.